Behind the smiling crew, elegant dining, and Broadway-style shows lies a hidden world, one most passengers never see. A world of secrets cruise lines are praying you never discover. In this video, we're exposing 9 explosive secrets straight from former crew members who lived them. Some will shock you, while others could quietly ruin your vacation if you're not paying attention. We'll cover everything from rigged games and hidden tracking to the one cabin on the ship you should never book. Whether you're boarding your first cruise or your 20th, what you're about to learn could change the way you sail forever. And stick around until the end, because after all the eye-openers, we'll share one heartwarming truth that explains why so many crew members still say it's worth it. Now grab your boarding pass and let's dive in. Number 1. Passenger profiling and tracking. Think no one's really paying attention to you on board? Think again. Former cruise staff have revealed that the crew often knows far more about you than you'd expect. And it starts the moment you book your trip. When you swipe your cruise card or wear a medallion, the system quietly begins building a picture of you, your purchases, your dining habits, even which areas of the ship you spend the most time in. But the data is only half the story. Former crews say human observation plays just as big a role. One former bartender admitted he was instructed to memorize the names and drink preferences of top-spending passengers before the first night even began. That's why frequent cruisers often report being greeted at the bar by name, with their drink waiting before they even order. It feels like flawless service, but it's actually strategy. Former dining staff add that they were expected to notice who requested the same table each night, while cabin stewards sometimes passed along word of mouth about guests who were unusually kind or unusually demanding. Insiders say this blend of digital footprint and crew gossip creates something close to passenger profiling. High-value guests may get extra perks, while passengers flagged as chronic complainers or potential problems could find their requests handled more cautiously. While there's no evidence of formal blacklists, reputations, both data-driven and word-of-mouth, spread quickly in a close-knit crew. Why should you care? Because your profile influences how you're treated in ways you'll never see. A positive reputation can mean upgrades or special treatment, while a negative one might shadow even legitimate complaints. The fix? Be polite, tip fairly, and remember, a good reputation can earn you smoother service, surprise perks, and occasionally even a cabin upgrade. Number 2. The rigged casinos. You step onto the casino floor, hear the slots buzzing and the cheering, and think you've walked into a floating Las Vegas. But former cruise dealers say, think again. One admitted that cruise ship slots often have worse odds than machines in a roadside gas station, especially once you're in international waters. Here's where it gets tricky. The common myth is that cruise lines operate under lawless maritime rules. The reality is that major cruise lines follow strict internal standards, many modeled on the Nevada Gaming Control Board. So how do they get away with it? This is where the real secret lies. Insiders reveal that most modern ships use server-based slot machines. While they aren't rigged illegally, the casino can remotely adjust payout percentages to be much lower than in most land-based casinos. Add in less favorable table rules, like blackjack paying 6-5 instead of the traditional 3-2, and the house edge becomes incredibly strong. So why is this a big deal? Because thousands of passengers play every night thinking they're getting a fair shot. Sure, people do win. You'll hear jackpots announced, see free cruises handed out, even watch champagne celebrations. But the cruise line makes its real money from players who don't realize they're up against tougher, though perfectly legal, odds than they'd face back home. Here's how to play it smart. Treat the casino as entertainment, not as a moneymaker. Set a strict cash limit, don't chase losses, and if you want to stretch your playtime, stick to lower-stakes table games where the odds are easier to understand. And those flashy slots? Maybe think twice before feeding them your vacation budget. Number 3. The food isn't always fresh. That stunning gourmet buffet that stretches as far as the eye can see might look like it was prepared minutes before you arrived, But former kitchen staff say the truth is a lot more mixed. While a lot of the food is cooked fresh on board, many key ingredients arrive frozen. For safety and logistics, items like seafood, steaks, chicken, and specialty meals, such as kosher, are stored frozen. That delicious lobster tail? It was likely frozen long before it hit your plate. Now, to be fair, this isn't just about cutting corners. A modern cruise ship is a massive logistical operation, feeding thousands of people up to 5 times a day from a tiny floating kitchen. Efficiency is everything. But it does mean that not everything is as gourmet as it appears. Crew members warn about buffet items like scrambled eggs, which are often made from a pre-mixed liquid rather than fresh cracked eggs, and many breads or pastries are simply baked from frozen dough. Experienced cruisers also know there's often a huge quality difference between the food in the main dining room and the meals you pay extra for in specialty restaurants. The steak will be a better cut, and the juice in the main dining hall might be a substitute, while the specialty spot has the fresh squeezed stuff. So, here's how to eat like an insider. For a guaranteed higher quality meal, a specialty restaurant is always your best bet. But for daily dining, look for the made-to-order stations at the buffet. The omelet bar, the pasta station, or the stir-fry section is where you'll find the freshest ingredients being cooked right in front of you. Number 4. Excursions can be unsafe. You've been dreaming about this moment, stepping off the ship for that once-in-a-lifetime excursion, ready to zip line through the jungle or wander ancient ruins. But former crew members warn that the reality behind these tours isn't always what it seems. One ex-tour coordinator explained that not all excursions are created equal. Many are outsourced to third-party companies, and in some developing countries where regulations are loose, safety standards and staff training can be inconsistent. Even more importantly, if something goes wrong, like an injury or accident, the cruise line is often protected from direct responsibility because of the liability waiver you signed. One former director recalled a passenger who slipped on a jungle tour and was left to cover all the medical bills through their own insurance. The cruise line simply refunded the cost of the excursion and quietly moved on. Here's the single most important secret you need to know. Booking an excursion through the cruise line isn't really about paying for the activity itself. It's about paying for one massive guarantee. The ship will not leave without you. If your official ship-sponsored tour gets stuck in traffic, the captain will wait. But if the cheaper private tour you booked has a flat tire, the ship will sail without you, and you'll be stuck finding your way to the next port. So here's the safest way to plan your trip. For something simple, like a beach day right near the port, an independent tour can be cheaper and perfectly safe. But if you're heading far from the ship for an all-day adventure, paying extra for the cruise line's tour isn't just about convenience, it's your safety net to guarantee you make it back on board. Number 5. Free perks are sales traps. Free champagne at the art auction, a complimentary spa consultation, an exclusive, no-cost cocktail tasting. Sounds great, right? But former cruise employees say these free perks almost always come with hidden strings attached. Most of these offers are part of a carefully designed psychological playbook to get you in the door and pressure you into buying something. The ultimate goal is simple. Turn your curiosity into their commission. Take the art auction. You're lured in with free bubbly, entertained by a charismatic auctioneer, and before you know it, you're caught in a high-pressure sales pitch. One couple reportedly walked away with a $9,000 painting they bought on a whim, only to be filled with regret by the time they got home. At the spa, that free consultation is designed to upsell you on hundreds or even thousands of dollars worth of detox wraps and anti-aging creams. And that wine tasting? It ends with a hard push to buy the full bottle at a massive markup. Here's how to play it safe. Go ahead and enjoy the free perks, but walk in with a firm mental limit. Take the champagne, listen to the presentation, and then walk away without feeling guilty. Remember, you're not being rude for saying no thank you. You're being a smart traveler. Number 6. Theft is often swept under the rug. You might assume that if your wallet or a piece of jewelry goes missing on a cruise ship, security will swoop in like a crime scene unit and launch a full investigation. But according to former security officers, That's rarely the case. One admitted that unless it's a major incident, say a theft over $10,000, which must be reported under U.S. law, most reports of missing items are handled quietly and discreetly. Now, this doesn't mean security isn't doing its job. There are plenty of stories of diligent teams using camera footage to recover lost or stolen items for passengers, but the cruise line's top priority is always its image. A public panic or loud accusation could ruin the vacation atmosphere for thousands of guests and lead to terrible reviews. In many cases, if a passenger reports something missing and there's no clear suspect on camera, they're often advised to double-check their cabin and later file a claim with travel insurance. The issue usually fades into the background, out of sight, to avoid alarming other guests. So, how do you protect yourself? First, always use the in-room safe for anything valuable: your passport, your cash, your electronics. Don't leave bags unattended in public spaces and avoid flashing expensive items. And here's a pro tip most new cruisers don't know. Before you board, take a quick photo of the contents of your suitcase. If your luggage goes missing or something gets stolen, you'll have solid proof for your insurance claim. Number 7. Harsh crew living conditions. When you see crew members smiling while they work, you might imagine them relaxing in their own slice of paradise after their shift. But former cruise workers say the reality is very different. Just beneath the sparkling decks where passengers sip cocktails, most crew live in cramped, windowless cabins, often sharing a shoebox-sized space with another person. These quarters are hidden on the lowest decks of the ship, areas passengers never see. There's no ocean view, almost no privacy, and very little comfort. To make matters worse, the hours are brutal. Most crew work 10 to 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, with contracts lasting anywhere from 3 to 11 months, without a single day off. One bartender recalled finishing a 12-hour shift only to return to a sweltering cabin with a broken air conditioner and a cold meal. So, why bring this up? Not to make you feel guilty, but to give you perspective. The person cleaning your room, serving your food, and keeping the ship running is doing it all with a smile, even if they're exhausted and haven't seen their family in months. This glimpse into crew life also comes with a critical travel tip: the rooms you should avoid. Former crew warn against booking cabins on the lower decks near corridors, stairwells, or elevators. These spots are high traffic and noisy at all hours. For a quieter stay, choose a cabin midship and on a higher deck, ideally surrounded only by other passenger rooms. And finally, here's where you can make a real difference. Tip generously, in cash, say please and thank you, and be patient. Crew members remember kind passengers, and that kindness often comes back as warmer service and a brighter smile. Number 8. Your cruise card is a control device. That little plastic cruise card in your pocket, or the Princess medallion if you're sailing with Princess, feels like the key to a seamless vacation. It opens your cabin door, buys your drinks, and gets you on and off the ship. But according to former cruise staff, it's also the backbone of the ship's digital surveillance. Unlike gossip or memory, this system is official, centralized, and always running. Every time you swipe or tap it, data is logged. What you purchased, when you played in the casino, which excursions you booked, and even the times you left or reboarded the ship. This creates a digital record of your trip that staff can access instantly. Former guest services agents admit they could quickly pull up a passenger's account to see spending totals, excursion bookings, or any unresolved charges. In some cases, unpaid bar tabs or declined credit cards triggered account restrictions until issues were fixed. On the other hand, former staff recall high spenders and loyal cruisers often receiving perks in their cabins, like complimentary wine, priority bookings, or special invitations, without ever asking. This system doesn't rely on word of mouth. It relies entirely on data. And that data shapes how the ship sees you, whether as a valued guest, a financial risk, or someone who needs closer monitoring. Why does this matter? Because your cruise card, or medallion, isn't just a convenience. It's a digital passport that defines your identity on the ship. The smart move? Track your own spending through the cruise app. And if a service is unexpectedly declined, don't just walk away. Head to guest services and ask why. A little awareness goes a long way. Number 9. There are hidden gems on board. While most passengers are fighting for a lounge chair at the main pool or waiting in line at the buffet, former crew members say the smartest cruisers are enjoying the ship's hidden gems. Every ship has them. Quiet lounges tucked away behind art galleries, scenic decks that aren't clearly marked on the maps, and secret observation spots that regular cruisers whisper about. One former entertainment host shared that her favorite place to watch the sunset wasn't the crowded top deck. It was a nearly empty nook near the front of the ship that only a few curious passengers ever found. On newer ships, you can even find hidden venues, like speakeasy bars behind unmarked doors that only a handful of guests ever discover. Finding these spots can completely change the vibe of your trip, turning a crowded vacation into a peaceful escape. So, how do you find them? First, befriend the crew. Your room steward, a friendly bartender, or an entertainer has explored every inch of that ship. If you politely ask them for the inside scoop on their favorite quiet spot with a great view, they're often happy to share it. And here's one of the best-kept secrets of all. The best time to enjoy the ship's most popular amenities, like the main pools, the hot tubs, or the fitness center, is on a port day. When thousands of passengers are ashore, you'll have the best parts of the ship almost entirely to yourself. So, there you have it. You're no longer just another passenger. You're an insider. You now have the knowledge to cruise smarter than 99% of the people on board, avoiding the traps while finding the hidden gems that make a trip unforgettable. If you made it this far and learned something new, let us know in the comments which secret shocked you the most. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you're always one step ahead on your next vacation. Until next time, sail smart, treat the crew with kindness, and make your next cruise your absolute best. See you on board.